Hi, this video is about chaga mushrooms health benefits, and they are the most powerful mushroom available for you. I'm going to go over the health benefits of chaga mushrooms in this video. I'm going to go over the nutrition that these mushrooms are chock full of. I'm going to go over how you can take these mushrooms, and there's a variety of different ways. And then stay to the end because I'm going to go over some cautions that you should know about prior to taking chaga mushrooms. I'm Barbara. I'm with the Alternative Health and Beauty channel, where being healthy is beautiful. And welcome back to my very wonderful subscribers. If you are new to this channel, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and you'll be alerted to new videos as they come out. So the chaga mushrooms are clearly a medicinal mushroom, although they do have some health and beauty benefits as well. Chaga mushrooms nourish your hair. They're great for your skin and for your eyes. So they do make you just overall having a more youthful appearance. The chaga medicinal mushrooms does a lot for your health. Some of the main things are they improve your endurance and energy, they fight fatigue, they boost your immune system, and they're just good for your overall health. They are both antiviral and anti-inflammatory, and they protect your DNA. Chaga mushrooms are good for people that have arthritis, and they're also good to level out your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels. They help your respiratory system, and there's a lot of research on this, but sometimes they're best combined with other mushrooms. One of the brands I take is Host Defense, and this particular one is called Breathe. It's for healthy respiratory support. And along with chaga, it's combined with reishi and cordyceps mushrooms. So this is introduced by Paul Stamets. I've been taking this product long term and I really suggest it. Not only does it help your respiratory system, but you get all of the other health benefits of chaga as well as the other mushrooms. Chaga can be taken in a number of different ways. It's often called chaga, the antioxidant gold. It helps you to have just a holistic balance in your body. So you can have chaga tea to drink. There's also a lot of mushroom coffees, including those made with chaga. You get chaga, or the best kind to consume is actually if it comes from an extract, just because that's the more powerful and best, healthy working for your system. There's some tinctures that are liquid forms where you can put a few drops in water, and chaga mushroom powder, I think, is one of the most convenient ways to take it. One of the brands I also like is Four Sigmatic, and this is the mushroom elixir mix with chaga, and it's called Defend. And it's mixed with mainly chaga mushrooms, but also with eleuthera root. And I'll put a link to my video about eleuthera root, also known as Siberian ginseng, in the description below, and you can look at that at another time. So chaga mushrooms do not look like mushrooms. If you saw them growing in the wild, unless you specifically knew they were chaga, you wouldn't recognize them at all. They grow on trees, mainly the birch tree, and they look like charcoal or black wood. They can be, several inches or a couple feet wide. And the inside is a kind of a brownish orange, and the coloring comes from the melanin in it. It's very high content of melanin, and the melanin in the chaga mushrooms helps to prevent damage to your DNA. They have been used for hundreds of years, so this is a mushroom that's clearly been tested and researched, and it works great. An interesting thought is that during both World War I and World War II, there were coffee shortages. So chaga was used to make coffee for the soldiers. So and that went out of fashion for quite a while, but now the mushroom coffees over the past handful of years have been very popular, and it's a good healthy alternative to coffee. Chaga in Russian is mushroom, and I believe that that's how the name came about. These disease-fighting mushrooms are also commonly referred to as black gold. They're definitely black, looking like charcoal. They're just a super antioxidant, and they defend against free radicals, and they boost your cellular health. Now, the thing about chaga mushrooms is that to really get the best benefits, you should take it consistently. So it's not something that, I would stir in a packet of powder and take it, once or twice a month. I would say take it on a daily basis, or at least a few times every single week to get the best result. I mean, not that you couldn't take it just once in a great while, but I think it's better to get it on overall consistency to get the best benefits. I'm curious if you would write in the comment section below if you've ever taken chaga mushrooms, or if you haven't, if so far from the information that you've heard, you are considering taking this wonderful mushroom supplement. The proper name, and I'm going to try to say this correctly, for chaga mushrooms is Inonotus obliquus, and the melanin, again, that's high concentrate in these mushrooms, fights radiation, and one of the ways it does is by protecting your pineal gland. There have been a lot of testing about chaga mushrooms and fighting and easing inflammation in your body. The testing shows very promising, although they're not conclusive and more testing does need to be done. Chaga also regulates your body's production of cytokines, so it's just really another way that it's good for your immune system. Since they are antiviral, there have been significant studies to show that the chaga mushrooms will focus on very specific viruses, and there's a lot of them. And there has been talk about the pharmaceutical companies actually using chaga mushrooms to make some pharmaceuticals. So we'll see if that happens in the future. Basically, this increases certain immune cells, and interleukin and the T lymphocytes are the main ones. So there's absolutely science behind this, backing it, and we're finding out more and more as time goes on with the studies. Lab studies also show that chaga mushrooms can selectively focus on specific cancers without harming the rest of your body. Most of the studies that I've read have been specific to lung cancer. There's a lot more studies needed, and chaga mushrooms are not a magic cure for cancer, but they do show a lot of promise, and it's just one of the things that you can consume on a daily basis to keep you healthy and hopefully help prevent some cancers in the future for you. Chaga mushrooms, as well as a lot of other medicinal mushrooms, are very high in polysaccharides, and they're also high in the beta-glucans. They have a lot of different minerals in them, but some of the main ones are zinc, calcium, magnesium, chromium, copper, selenium, and iron. They're rich in amino acids. They have a very high fiber content, and they are a really good natural source of vitamin D and the B vitamin complex. So they just, nutritionally alone, they're really good and healthy for you. If you have taken chaga mushrooms, I'd also like you to post in the comment section below if there's any particular brand that you favor. I like to always find out about new things that I haven't tried. Chaga mushrooms are very high in oxalate, and oxalate is really an anti-nutrient. It's part of a lot of different common foods, spinach, berries, beans, particularly raspberries, and when consumed in very high quantities, they can be bad for your system. They interfere with some absorption of nutrients, and they bind with calcium in very high concentration. They can cause kidney damage. So I mentioned this in some of my other videos, but you really just need to take a common sense approach. I would take just the recommended serving of the chaga mushrooms. I wouldn't take extra like I do with some other of the supplements I take. And, you know, any kind of food, like you wouldn't eat 20 pounds of spinach in a day. I don't know if you could even if you tried, but if you did, it wouldn't be healthy for you because of its high oxalate compounds. You wouldn't drink 50 gallons of water in a day either. I mean, that could be very detrimental to you, and it could even cause death. So you just use some good common sense. Take chaga as directed, and you really should be okay, especially if you're also eating a well-balanced diet. Now, a couple of cautions I have is that it's beneficial that chaga mushrooms have a blood thinning effect. However, if you are diabetic or if you're taking diabetic medications, it can have, you know, a negative interference. So if you do not take diabetes medications, I would just check your blood sugar level very commonly, often. However, if you are taking the diabetes medication, I just wouldn't consume chaga mushrooms at all just because of the potential risk and side effects. I wouldn't take it if you have kidney disease and you're taking medications for your kidneys, or if you are diabetic and taking any kind of diabetic medications. I would just stay away from those if you're taking blood thinning medications for diabetes or kidney disease. And although there's more studies that need to be done about this, chaga mushrooms definitely is great for your immune system. It boosts your overall immune system. So if you have an autoimmune disease, I would not consume chaga mushrooms unless your doctor felt like it was okay for you, just because how it affects autoimmune diseases is not clearly understood yet. And when you're about to have a surgery, usually your doctor will tell you 2 weeks prior to not take aspirin. I would not consume chaga mushrooms either, just because they do have the blood thinning ability. So just be cautious of that, and probably for 1 week after the surgery as well. These cannot be eaten raw, so not only would they taste terrible, and I think the consistency would be just very hard to chew, but the nutrients would not be released unless they are put into an extract form. So it's not a mushroom that you're gonna cook with, and it's not something that you can find in its natural form in a grocery store either. Let me know what you think of this video. If it's been helpful for you, please click like, and feel free to share this with anybody else that you think might benefit from knowing more about chaga mushrooms. Thank you.